What's up, Metal Brethren? Scott Tannic One coming at you again live from the dungeon with the final installment of the Danzig Discography reviews. Now, before I really get into the disc, we are 11 videos into this. I really want to talk about what's going on with the band at this point in time. Yet another lineup change, but this, I believe, is going to be the permanent lineup for the rest of the Danzig cycle. I hope so. This, of course, with Glenn Danzig on vocals. You still have Tommy Victor on guitar, but now you have the addition of Johnny Kelly from Typo Negative on drums. Um, on this record, 2010's Death Red Sabaoth. Glenn plays a lot of the bass on here, but that being said, the bass duties has been filled by the one and only Steve Zing. If you don't know who Steve Zing is, he was the original drummer for Sam Hain, my favorite in the entire Glenn Danzig projects, all his bands. Sam Hain is the one that is my favorite. I tend to do a discography review for them, but right now, with the new Danzig disc getting ready to drop, I figured it would be a good opportune time to do a discography review for the solo band years. Anyway, again, produced by Glenn Danzig, 2010 Death Red Sabaoth. Let's dive into some tracks because there are a lot of fucking good ones on this one. Starts off with Hammer of the Gods, which is an amazing Viking lore song. I love Viking lore. That's why I love bands like Armand Moth, The Latter Years of Bathory. I just love Viking lore, period, being I have a bit of Norwegian blood in me. Moving on, The Revengeful. I know that's not a legit word, but still an amazing fucking track. Another good one, Rebel Spirits. The thing I really want to say about this record in particular is this is definitely a back to basics tracks. Not tracks. The entire album is very back to basics. It's very lo-fi produced. Nothing digital is done on this offering by Danzig. He did this all analog, all on tape, so it gets that 70s feel, which I fucking adore that when a band does that. Don't get me wrong, digital does sound good as well. It's a lot cleaner. But when you get into analog producing and analog recording, it sounds more natural to me. Anyway, back to some more tracks. Black Candy is another one off here that I think is worth mentioning, being the fact that Glenn plays the drums on this track. They're very simple drum beats. You can tell, Glenn's not a fucking percussionist by any means, but it's an interesting track. Very interesting track. One of the singles off here, On a Wicked Night, another throwback to the years of Danzig 3, Danzig 4. It sounds like a track that could have definitely made it onto one of those albums. Then you get into kind of sort of the title track on here, Death Red Moon, another personal favorite of mine. I saw the band tour on this record, and honestly, Glenn's never sounded better, especially in his latter year stuff. I fucking just love the lineup that's going on here. Moving on, another really bluesy influenced track off here, something that definitely could have been on Danzig 2, is Juju Bone. Juju Bone has an amazing video for it. If you haven't checked it out, definitely look it up on YouTube or whatever. Look it up on here. An amazing fucking song, an amazing video. Definitely look into it. Then the tracks kind of bog down here at this point. You get songs like Night Star Hell, which kind of just sounds like a cookie cutter Danzig song. Definitely something that could have been on Illuciferi. Moving on to a two-part weird kind of thing with these two tracks. It's the body of work's called Pyre of Souls, and there's two tracks for that, which is Incantial and Seasons of Pain. Honestly, this is not my favorite part of the record. It's a little proggy. It's a little too much for me, but it doesn't really bog down the record that much. I'm just not a big fan of ambient tracks. I mean, some are cool if they're done right, but I don't think this one was. Then you get into the closer, Left Hand Rise Above, which kind of definitely puts the exclamation point on this record. Now, honestly, This is definitely my favorite latter years Danzig album. It just stomps a circle of snakes. Way better than Danzig 7 or 6. Don't even want to talk about 5 again. After the traditional lineup, I think this is the go-to record for Danzig solo band. But that's my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and rate Death Threat Sabaoth here for you with an astounding 5 out of 5. I think this is an amazing fucking record. Even if you don't like Danzig or have not heard any of his back catalog, this one I'm pretty sure you can get relatively cheap now. Came out in 2010, so you'd be able to find it at most, you might be able to still find this at record stores. I don't know. You can definitely get it cheap on Amazon. A 5 out of 5. And that being said, that's it. That's the end. That's the entire Danzig discography up to this point. Now, there's going to be one more record come out here very soon this week. The Skeletons cover album drops. So I will definitely come back to you guys as soon as I get my grubby little mitts on that one. I'll come back and review that as well. So that's it. 11 videos, 11 albums, so to speak. Pretty much 10 albums and, 8 albums, an EP, and a compilation. What do you think, Metal Brethren? Will these videos introduce you to Danzig? Will you check out his stuff? Or will you be like most everyone else and say, fuck Danzig? Well, you know what? Let me know. Hit me up down in the comments. Like, subscribe if you dig what I have to say. And that's it. Happy holidays. I'm probably going to chill for a little bit on making vids because I'm going to try to compile a best of 2015 list, which will be very short, being the fact that I didn't buy all the records that came out this year. So stay tuned for that. I may get to it. I may not. If not, oh well, who cares? Later on, Metal Brethren. Have a good one.